What's up YouTube, it's Machina here. Today I went to the Cardiff regionals and I top forward, going 5-1. The reason I'm not recording on the Fire Fist map is because I got rid of it, but I've got the deck boxes sort of proof. I went 5-1, coming 4th if I haven't mentioned that already. So yeah, I'll do a deck profile first, and then I will go over my matchups afterwards. Okay, I played triple fortress, triple gear frame. Not much really needs to be said about these. I think if you know about the deck, you know what they do. And then I ran one cannon. If you had a look at my deck list on other people's channels, they might say that I wasn't running the cannon, that I was running a 40 card deck, but that's because I forgot to write cannon on my deck list, so that wasn't very good. I managed to escape a deck check though, so it didn't backfire, but this is a 41 card deck with cannon. And then for gadgets I just run 2 of each. Pretty standard. 3 clog, so yeah. They did their job, apart from round 5, but I'll get to that later on. And then I run 2 Trigodia, just to round off the monsters. Okay, spells, I ran Reborn, Dark Hole, Storm, 2 Duality. These are really good, I saw these a lot today. 1 Avarice, this is okay. This won me round, I think, 4 against Hieratics, simply because he was just pounding the absolute crap out of me. I just managed to get 5 engrave and use this, and then I drew a gear frame off it and went into a big eye play, which turned the game around, which is good. 2 Lance, this is okay. I didn't use it to dodge Bottomless or anything nearly as much as I thought I was going to, and it was probably my most sided out card, simply because of the fact that I played a lot of stuff like Dark Worlds and Hieratics and Mermail and stuff like that, where Lance isn't as good, so there's that. I played 2 MST. I'm not really a fan of maining 3 at this point. I know why it's good, but if you're running Lance you probably don't need to. And then Soul Taker. This is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's absolutely amazing, but it did its job, so I'll probably definitely keep it in. For the traps, the 1 Warning, 2 Torrential, 2 Call. This was really good. I use this mostly with gadgets, just to go into Shockmaster and stuff like that. D Prisons, 2 of them. Judgment, 2 Force, 2 Bottomless, 2 Chain, and Starlight. Starlight was amazing today. I managed to actually see it, which doesn't usually happen at my locals. So yeah, that should be 41 cards. Extra deck in no particular order. Pearl, Utopia, Ray, Diamond Direwolf, Papal Operative, Dweller, Sigma, Cowboy, Big Eye, Maestroke. There's 2 Gigant. Let me finish up the other one. There we go. Merrogeist won me pretty much the entirety of round 1, and Shockmaster, and Stardust Dragon. For the side, I ran to Shadow Imprisoning, just because my locals is quite Dark World heavy, so yeah. 2 DD Salient, for the same thing, just let Grapha run over this and banish it. 2 Gozen, just in case I went up against Sam's or Wind Up or anything similar, although they didn't go in. 2 Overworked for the Fire Fist matchup. These did go in game 2 against Fire Fist, but I got wrecked before I got to them, so that's the thing. 2 Compulse, because I don't like maining them because it's bad against Mermail. 3rd MST. 2 Banisher. These were great against Mermail, not so great against Darkworld. And then 2 Soul Drain. The reason I opted to go Soul Drain over Macro or Defissure is because I know quite a few people from my local side, Imperial Iron Wall, so basically for Grave Hate, these two and these two went in against... no, wait a minute. The Shadow Imps and the Assailants went in against Darkworld. The Banshees went in against Darkworld one game, but they were crap because they just kept being over, so I didn't slide them in again. And Soul Drains went in as well. And against Mermails, it was just Soul Drain and Banisher which I managed to see, so that was good. Right, for my matchups. Round 1 I went against a really interesting Gusto Psychic deck, which was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I lost game 1, and then game 2 I got down to 700, and but just managed to win. I think I started to win just because I realised that this card was pretty good against Gusto. And then game 3 I sort of learnt how to play against the deck, and I went down to 4k just from a judgment and beat him down from there, so there's that. Round 2 was against Darkworld. Game 1, it was pretty back and forth, but I managed to get off some Machina plays like Big Eyeing his Graph and whatnot, so I got him down to low life points. A rather interesting thing with this is I made sort of a semi-push, but he played the quick play spell that reses a Darkworld, which I've completely forgotten now. And he would have probably had game next turn, but I got rid of it with Soul Taker, and then he just scooped, even though he played 1 Day of Peace in previous turn. I didn't declare an attack or anything, so oh well, it's not my fault. Game 2, I didn't take a single point of damage, simply because I opened Soul Drain, so there's that. Round 3 was against Darkworld as well. I won game 1, it was pretty hairy, but it was fine. Game 2 he opened the nuts, it's opened Card Destruction and loads of Darkworlds, and just went plus like 4 or 5. So yeah, and then eradicated me, and next turn deck dead me. So that was always going to be uphill battle. But game 3, I think I opened pretty much no back row, which would normally be bad, but he opened 2 MST, so it kind of worked in my favour because his MST is clogged, and I just managed to beat him down largely with gear frame shenanigans. So at that point I was 3-0. Then I went against Hieratics. This deck came 6th eventually. I won game 1, just because I managed to have an answer to his Herpeder massive spam plays. Game 2 I didn't have an answer to the Herpeder massive spam plays, so that ended in tragedy. And game 3, he beat me down to within an inch of my life, but the lucky Avarice I described earlier got me a Big Eye, which stole his Red MD, which beat over his Gaia Charger, and he just couldn't get around it because he was pretty much top decking at that point. So yeah. Round 5 I went against Fire Fist. I'm not particularly afraid of this matchup, it's just game 1 I opened no gadgets, no gear frame, no anything. I think there's Fortress, 5 spells, and I couldn't really play out of it. Game 2 I opened one of each gadget and no real back row, so that was always going to be quite bad, so I got 2-0'd by that. This was the Fire Fist person who actually ended up winning, so I don't really feel too bad. And then round 6 I went against my good friend Jamie, who was playing his Mermail deck. Game 1 I had answers to pretty much everything and just went Herpet up Machina. Game 2 it's pretty back and forth, but he got me down to 1,200. I then paid a K for Soul Drain. He pretty much stopped his entire hand, but then he went into a Diva into Gungnir play and beat over my Gigan for the remaining 200. So I probably should have made a Maestroke or something, but oh well. And then game 3 I opened Banisher Soul Drain, and after he killed the first Soul Drain I top decked the second Soul Drain, so I won that one. So overall going 5-1, coming 4th. I'm quite surprised actually. I thought this played a lot better than I originally thought it would, considering I hadn't really tested it an awful lot due to university work. But yeah, I've got my Euros invite, so I can't really complain. This has been Uzmak1, signing out.